Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I want to do is I wanted to talk to my chosen ones about how the real and your real strength will come from how well you follow God's / the Creator's path. You know what I mean? It's only one route to get to these heavens. I know a lot of people say heaven as if it's just one location, but there's multiple locations. There's a lot of heavens that we can go to after this life. You know what I mean? But get into a space of understanding, like real strength comes from how well you follow God, the Creator's path, in a day and age in a society where the demons are allowed to walk freely without no immediate repercussions or consequences in this physical realm. But they all got consequences and repercussions in the spiritual realm after here. You know what I mean? So what kind of brought me to this subject today was just kind of engaging with different people throughout life, you know what I mean? And of course, most of us are going to seem unorthodox. And before I get into it, I kind of wanted to use the example of like walking in this light that you've been walking in your entire life and then becoming aware of what's actually going on and what's happening. It's like going into a room full of people who gangbang. I don't care what color, what sex you bang. Going into a room full of them and trying to convert them away from, you know, their ideology, their thought process. That's not going to be easy because you have to understand that for a lot of them, it took them a while before they got into that space. Some of them, families transitioned them into that space. But they done already put in the work to establish certain things within themselves, being part of these brotherhoods / organizations, and it's just been a multitude of energy applied in there. So that's not something that you would be easily able to just kind of swing somebody away from. You know what I mean? Whether it's on the upside or downside, depending on their process. If your process is on the upside, then you wouldn't have a problem opening up your perspective to another avenue, which is a higher vibration. But society programs us to stay in a low vibration, and then you get into low vibrating activities, and then it's harder for you to see yourself getting out of that mess. That's how difficult it is just waking up and leaving the house or engaging with the digital world. That's how difficult things can be, you know, and you get a lot of strength from walking this light. The ones who vibe with the Creator, God, whatever name title you put on into it for your region, you know what I mean? It's like we've never had the numbers during these times. Because this isn't the first time this cycle has happened in this realm. We're just alive to witness and be a part of this one. It was other people in other civilizations that had to go through this exact same process. And understanding that most people isn't going to ride with you because of the playbook they're using. But you able to keep your joy, your peace, your light, you know what I'm saying? You still feel more fulfilled than most beings. Like, you know who you are, in and out. The good and the twisted that you've been working on, you know what I'm saying? I don't do the good, bad, and ugly because we not that fucked up. I don't know why they put two negatives on there with a positive, the good, bad, and ugly. No, you know, I just say the good and the twisted because a lot of us have been fighting for a long time in this space before we even knew we were fighting, you know what I mean? And the more you are in this realm and in this space, the easier it becomes for you to understand that when you work out certain muscles, you get stronger. It's pretty simple. Some things we make more complicated than when we need to. So every day I don't have to pick up the Bible or the Quran, you know, or any of these other books that's connected to the religions that some of the people use, you know what I'm saying, which I'm not connected to. I'm just with the source, you know what I mean? But what I do, and what I recommend everybody else do is, you know, stay in contact with source. Ask questions, you know, throw random answers out there to see if it's going to come spit back to you. The thing is, when you are engaging with the source, you don't get the answers right away. You can sit down and have a 30-minute conversation, you know, with source, and you won't have a solution or no answers by then. But you give it some time, and then it makes its way to you. And that's usually always the process, you know what I mean? And we've always gained so much strength from just trusting the creator and the process, you know what I mean? And that's something that, like, I would never be able to go against. Like, the same way, like, some people are set in their organizations, I'm set with my team. And the thing is, with the organizations, I joined one when I was in prison. You know what I'm saying? I start banging blood. I've been affiliated for a lot of years now. You know what I mean? It's 2023. I say I've been affiliated since 2008. It's a long time, you know what I mean? But the thing is, with even being in that process, like I said, when you vibrate on a higher frequency, then you understand certain things. I know for me, it was more so the brotherhood with the beings that I was around. You know, it wasn't as much as like with the TVs and all that shit is showing. You know, it's a difference when you actually in the house and outside of a house. It's a big difference, you know what I mean? So for me, I just always understood, even when I was walking that way of life full wholeheartedly, it's like the creator still wouldn't let me do anything that was out of the guidelines, you know what I mean? So, and the certain things that I did have to do that may have been outside of those guidelines, there was some kind of sauce put on top of it and seasoning to ease it while I'm in the process, because the creator already know that I had signed the contract, you know. So you kind of got to work yourself out of contracts. Not saying that I'm still not affiliated, but I'm just saying, like, out of certain inner spaces, you have to do these things. Like, from each communication and engagement you have with people, and you help shift them towards natural law, the creator, it's still going to be resistance, because these demons have it set up to where they want everything to be fluffy. You know what I mean? So it's, when you look out in nature, nature has its violent moments. Nature has its unpeaceful moments. Nature has its unsettling moments. But if you ever notice that it's usually temporary, because it's hard to hold and sustain that energy without applying a lot of force to it. So, for instance, for me to stay in a negative space, I have to constantly keep thinking about something negative and something harmful and hurtful, or something sad, something lower vibrating that's all connected to it. But it's hard for me to, because my spirit naturally knows that the cup is half full, not half empty. So I'm limited to how much time I'm allowed to sit in that space. And I know that's how most of us are. Like, we have way too much strength following that playbook. And it's like, the more you engage with these demons out here that's taking over these vessels, because a lot of people don't like the fact that, oh, we're quote unquote shunning people for their actions. If you was walking in a godly light, you wouldn't be called a demon. But some people like, oh yeah, well, you shouldn't be calling people that because everybody's not that, and blah blah blah, and these things are the third. And I'm like, principles, morals, and values. Then you got your actions. You walk in a life that shows what side you are. I'm not living in this realm for the next day and the next day and the next day. I'm living in this realm the best, highest light that I possibly can get to for the next location, and also to be a better light for the current generation. You know what I mean? Most adults is not going to shift. Most adults is not going to shift. And then you don't catch yourself talking to one of these loony females with one of these weird ass perspectives who are just like, because their biological makeup isn't to defend, to protect, to do these things, you're gonna have a different space where you're coming from. So even the godly queens already understand that, but they also know that, hey, I need to ride with these men because they warriors, they battle for us. A lot of people talk about this hypergamy shit, right? Hypergamy is just another word for saying demon women getting to do whatever they want to do. Because if you think about hypergamy, right, they always say women want the best. If women always wanted the best, then how did men go away to wars and come back to their wives? That didn't make sense. Women, all of us used to be more loyal to each other when we signed these covenants than the way we are right now. So hypergamy is not always a thing, and people always try to use it because society is so demonic that they feel like, oh yeah, every woman, yeah, every demonic woman is gonna take that route. Any godly woman is not gonna take that route. She gonna ride with her man. If his balance is right here, she fucking with him when his balance right there. If his balance right here, she fucking with him when his balance right there. If his balance is up here, she's fucking with him when his balance is up there. If his health is down here, she is fucking with him when his health is down there. Hypergamy is another word for the weaklings. You know what I'm saying? The scared beings, because people are used to running and scrambling. You know what I mean? But just understanding, like, we get a lot of our real strength from our actions, from our walk of life, from the way we choose to communicate and engage with beings, from the spiritual contracts we sign with people that's not governed by society that we just sign, and we hold ourselves to those things. You know what I'm saying? My word is my bond, and my bond is my word. Used to be a thing, but we already know these demons will do whatever to twist anything up. All of us don't operate like that. You know what I mean? And you do have a lot of warriors who are big spirited beings, but you are gonna get some hardness from them because you do not become a warrior by being soft as cotton. It's not how it works, and we in the middle of a battlefield. You know what I mean? So just understanding, like, it's always hard for them to knock us down. They can knock us to the side and bump us off our toes a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But we get our real strength from how we choose to walk our life following the Creator in the path, you know what I'm saying, and following those rules and principles and values, and still upholding those in a society where everybody is going against it, and they will tell you they are in their own words, and they'll be proud of it because there's nobody else shunning them, shaming them, or telling them any otherwise. So you standing solid in that word, you feel like you taking all these blows and all these hits, and yes, you are. But we playing this game at another level. You know what I'm saying? They playing chess and we playing checkers. So I can give you a couple pieces so I can capitalize and win the game. You know what I mean? But we get our real strength from the path. You know what I'm saying? The Creator, God, the universal law flow. You know what I'm saying? Natural law flow. However it flows for you. To me, I know if they shut society down right now, and if all books was burned, we wouldn't be dependent on a book. We would be dependent on our connection from within, outwardly with the source. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't want to run it up too long. Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.